Today I'll be sharing with you 6 habits of sustainable shoppers that will not only help your physical wardrobe, but it will reduce your carbon footprint and help you move forward as a more mindful consumer. If you want to see more content on how to reduce your consumption and be more intentional with your shopping, make sure you hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to check out the Feeling Good Style Club. I'm making some adjustments in the club to focus more on sustainability, more on mindful consumption. Those are gonna roll out over the next month or two, so make sure you keep an eye out. And without further ado, let's get into these habits. So the first, and I would say probably the most important habit of people who are sustainable shoppers, is prioritizing what you already own. If you guys take anything away from this video, let it be this. The most sustainable way to shop is to not shop at all. And it makes sense, right? Like, there are so many benefits to consuming less or not consuming at all. Not only does it help your wallet out, but it also helps the environment. We've all heard the term reduce, reuse, recycle, and I want you to keep this in mind as you move forward in your journey as a sustainable shopper, a sustainable consumer, especially the reduce part. Like, it doesn't lie. The less you consume, the better. So with that, prioritizing what you own is really about rediscovering your wardrobe, especially if you're somebody who's feeling maybe a little bit uninspired or bored with what you have in your closet right now. We have all been there, and just because you want to learn more about sustainability and implement it into your wardrobe or your entire life as a whole doesn't mean that you have to settle for boredom when it comes to your closet. So how exactly are we supposed to combat this boredom? Well, there's a couple things you can do, but the main thing is I want you to give yourself permission to be creative with what you already own. I find that it's really easy for us to see holes in our wardrobe and think that in order to fill them, we have to go buy, we have to go shop. But in reality, it's just about tuning into different styling techniques, tuning into different ways to mix and match items that you've maybe never thought to put together. It's about replicating style inspiration using items that you already have. This is really all about shopping your own closet. So if you're somebody who feels like you're in a little bit of a style rut right now, or maybe you are just feeling a touch bored with your wardrobe, I encourage you to just take a few minutes out of your day or whenever you have some free time coming up and just put together 2 to 3 new outfits that you've never thought of putting together before. And let that style inspiration take you to the next level and learn that the best way and the most environmentally friendly way and just the most important way to be a sustainable shopper is to just utilize what you already have. The next habit of a sustainable shopper is critical thinking skills. When you decide that you're committed to shopping mindfully, it is so important to approach every single purchase, every single potential purchase with intention. I recently did a 2-part series on how to quit fast fashion. I will link part 1 above here. And in that video, I talk about the mindful consumer hierarchy. So in the mindful consumer hierarchy, there's 3 levels. The most sustainable way to shop is to not shop at all. The second most sustainable way to shop is to buy secondhand. And the third most sustainable way to shop is to shop from sustainable, ethical brands. However, no matter what level you're on, no matter what approach you're trying to take, critical thinking skills are crucial. It's because shopping should never be viewed as a form of entertainment, right? Like, if you're shopping as a form of entertainment, you don't have a very structured thought process. You're kind of just looking for things that give you that dopamine hit. Critical thinking skills are important to make sure that you are checking every single box that you have that sets the standards in your wardrobe to make sure that whatever you're buying is going to serve itself well within your closet. It's going to have the longevity that you want. It's going to have the versatility that you want. And I always say that your closet is there to serve you. So this is really where those skills are coming into play to make sure that that's the truth. I encourage you to be picky about what you buy, okay? Be choosy, be picky. I like to look at my relationship with my clothes as a long-term partnership. Like, we signed a contract together, we are in it for the long haul, there's no getting out of it. But I mean, just like any other contract that you're ever going to sign, you have to do your due diligence. So for me, this is taking time to examine the fabric. Is it comfortable? Does it feel high quality? Does it feel good on my skin? Is the construction of the item durable? How does the stitching look? Is it straight? Is it jagged? Is it all over the place? Are there loose threads? Does it go with other pieces in my wardrobe? Can I wear it for different occasions? Can I extend it beyond one season? Never settle for something that doesn't meet your standards. That's just advice for your entire life too. Like, not just clothes, never settle for less. The third habit of sustainable shoppers is mindful laundering. So there's a few things that I want to talk about when it comes to this subject. First is that your care tags are there for a reason. Look at them if you are not sure what to do with your clothes. And honestly, I would look at them, period. Like, sometimes we just assume that everything can go in the wash, and it's not always the case, especially with natural fibers and natural fabrics that can become a little distorted if you put them in hot water and things like that. Guilty. I have definitely learned my lesson with that. So the second thing I want to mention is that it is perfectly okay to not wash your clothes after every single wear. In fact, washing and drying your clothes less is going to make your clothes last longer. Think about it. You are putting your clothes essentially through a very intense process. Never thought about it like that, but it is a very intense process. Imagine you going in a washing machine and just going around like that. It's intense. Things like hot water, depending on the fabric, things like the heat from the dryer, obviously, it can damage the fibers of your clothes over time. So if your clothes aren't physically dirty, if they're not smelly, don't feel like you have to throw them into your laundry basket. Like, you can hang them back up. It's totally gonna depend on your situation and like what you do for work and where you live or whatever. But I'm at a point right now in my life where I definitely don't need to wash my clothes every single time I wear them. Not only is this going to prolong the lifespan of your clothes, but it's also so much better for the environment, which brings me to my next point about microplastics. Polyester, acrylic, nylon, when they are washed, they shed microplastics. And this ultimately goes within our water systems and it goes into the ocean. So scientists have estimated that 35% of microplastics in the ocean come from textiles, which is our clothes. And it's also estimated that 2.2 million tons of microplastics are entering our oceans each year. That's an absurd number. So what exactly can you do about this? Well, obviously you can wash your clothes less. That is always a great option. However, if you do have quite a few synthetic items in your wardrobe, which I do too, like, it's nothing to be ashamed about, it's just the reality of fashion today, then I would recommend a microplastic washing bag. This one from Guppy Friend is definitely one of the most popular ones, and it's really easy to use. You just separate your synthetics from your natural material items, place them in the bag, wash them, and then you remove like the little microplastics that get collected in the bag. So there are a few recommendations for you to help combat the microplastics, but in general, just follow proper care instructions and help reduce your environmental impact. The fourth habit is repairing and tailoring what you already own. Now, I know that sewing and fixing clothes and anything with a thread and a needle can be a little bit daunting, a little bit intimidating, but I promise you, it's really not that hard as it sounds. I took a fashion design class when I went to school. I went to school for the business side of fashion, but I took a design class because I was just curious if it was something I'd be interested in, and I learned a couple things. Number one, that I really hated it, but I also learned that hand sewing with just a needle and thread is like really not that hard. There are countless tutorials, especially on YouTube, that can guide you through very basic repairs. And if you're just not confident in your sewing skills, then I'm sure you have a local tailor around you. I find that small imperfections that need to be fixed are generally not super expensive if you head to the tailor. So I've actually been seeing quite a few people online getting quite creative with their repairs in their clothes. Like, it doesn't always necessarily just have to be like a boring stitch. I've seen people put embroidery patches over holes or stains, or I've seen people actually just do embroidery. I think it's so creative and such a beautiful way to give the item a little bit more personality, and of course, like I said, extend life. So just make sure that you're considering repairing or tailoring your clothes before you get rid of them. It's not only going to enhance the longevity of your pieces, but it's also going to help your wallet in the long run. This is really all about just making sure that your clothes are given a second life. So just make sure you keep that in mind the next time you find a little imperfection in one of your pieces in your closet. The next habit of a sustainable shopper is shopping locally. Shopping locally isn't just great for supporting your local economy, it helps lower unemployment rates, but it also, of course, has significant environmental benefits to it as well. Locally owned businesses are oftentimes sourcing their products locally, of course. And this means less transportation, less emissions going into our environment, as opposed to ordering something from the other side of the world and it needing an entire jet to get over here. For example, let's talk about Shein, my best friend, Shein. So if you're ordering from a place like Shein, those items are coming on a very long haul flight from China, which obviously has a much larger carbon footprint. And not for nothing, oh my God. And not for nothing, but it's alleged that companies like Shein and Temu are bringing items to the US or, to wherever on jets, on planes, and then they are sending those planes back empty to pick up new stuff. That's crazy. I'm gonna link an article down below for you guys to read more. It's on Forbes, it's behind a paywall, but I'll link a website that you can read it on outside of the paywall. But it's just nuts. A little bit besides the point, I know we're talking about shopping locally here, but I just wanna point that out. If you are going to shop locally, I still think there is a responsibility to make sure you're doing your research and seeing where they are sourcing their products from, because there are locally owned shops in my area that are definitely just ordering wholesale from places like Alibaba or even Shein or Temu or whatever, and then they're marking up the prices and the quality of the item is still So do with that what you will. I find personally that places that are truly sourcing locally or even regionally are proud to share it. They have it all over their website. I mean, these are also situations where you can call the store and ask, unlike, calling a major brand and asking them where they source their fabrics from. Like, you can just call and ask and make sure, but I encourage you to take the effort to shop locally. I know it's so easy to shop online. I know it's so easy to, get things instantaneously to us, but shopping locally is just way more beneficial in so many ways. And the last habit of a sustainable shopper, and one of my favorites on this list, is the willingness to always learn more. Sustainability is an ever-evolving and honestly a very complex subject. There is so much information out there, so much new information coming literally every day to us. And of course, that comes with a variety of opinions. And that's why it's really important to continuously do your own research and just stay open to learning new developments about the world of sustainability. Knowledge is power. And once new pieces of information come up, no matter how they reach you, it's important to absorb it and apply it to your own shopping habits if you find it to be applicable. And just remember that sustainability is not a static concept. It is dynamic, it is constantly growing. So just embrace the journey of learning more about it and don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to just learn more. And honestly, as I start to move this channel more into sustainably driven, mindful consumption content, there is so much for me to learn, you guys. I just imagine that within the next year, 2 years, just as I immerse myself more in this information that I previously wasn't consuming as much, my mind is going to change on a lot of things. My habits and my perspectives are going to change. And I just want to keep you guys in the loop with that stuff. So I'm just really happy you're here and along for the ride. So thank you for being part of it. Stay curious, stay informed, and we can all contribute to a more sustainable future together. All right, you guys, leave a comment down below. Share with me something new that you possibly learned today, or I would like to hear about a sustainably driven habit that you like to implement in your life. Again, we're always looking to learn more here, so make sure you share your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't forget to check out my series on how to quit fast fashion. I will link one of the videos on the screen here. As always, thank you so much for watching. I am so lucky and grateful to be on this journey with you, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.